What's good, world? I want to welcome you to our first installment of the G Funk Junkies Podcast. I am your host, WiseUp89, aka 2Dope, here with my co-host, 6190E. What's going on, brother?
What up, Chicano rap world? I am honored to be one half of the G Funk Junkies with none other than the Flecha Dropper himself, the out-of-print collector and Chicano rap enthusiast, my homie Wise, 2Dope. What up?
Hey, what's up, homie? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, then. For the first episode, we're going to jump right into Mr. Shadow's 1997 classic, Till I Die.
Damn, Wise. We're just going to hit him up with some heat right off the bat?
Yeah, so I just want to kick it off with a few little facts. The original version of Till I Die was intended to be a collaboration effort between he and none other than San Diego's very own Little Rob.
Till I Die, the album, was actually supposed to be Shadow and Little Rob, a.k.a. the Mayhem Clique.
So this was supposed to be the Mayhem Clique originally. So I thought that was really interesting. And I always wondered why Little Rob was on like 4 or 5 of the tracks on the album. So, you know, I'm not sure if you caught that when you saw the original interview.
Yeah, I got to peep it out.
And then second little fact is that the original Till I Die had 13 tracks and the reprint has 16. So I happen to have the reprint from Eastside Records. Which version do you have? 6?
I got I believe it got reprinted, but it was also in 1999. But this one's an Eastside Record Beyond Entertainment collab. And it also has 16 tracks.
Right on.
But I also owned the one that you have as well. Is the original print hard to find with 13 tracks?
You know, you really can't find dates and original prints easily accessible on the internet. I mean, now you probably can through like Discogs. You know, I guess before the only place you could really find that information was probably on brownpride.com. Remember that shit?
Brown Pride. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to them, man, for kicking off something that, you know, at the time was probably very innovative and probably the first of its kind at the time, because what that was like 97. The internet was still pretty brand new. So, you know, they probably kicked off a lot of things that we probably aren't aware of, you know?
Right. Just one thing that I want to add. When I bought the Eastside Record Beyond Entertainment release, the only thing different than from what I have from my current just only Eastside Record release, the CDs look the same with the black Old English letter, but the first copy that I bought had a white background and black Old English letters, as this current one that I have, same black Old English letters, and it looks more like a blank CD.
Yeah, like a reflective,
boom,
silverish kind of color, right? There you go. Yeah, mine's the same way. Let me kind of start this off with my views on a few things, man. I think this is probably one of the most iconic covers in the genre, just because of the magnitude and the weight that this album itself carries. But you want to tell me your thoughts on the cover?
What can I say? How often do you see San Diego being sported on jerseys on a CD cover? That was one of my first experiences, thinking that was cool. Like that the Mr. Shadow is in the same kind of font that the Amici City Park sign is at.
That's pretty cool that he's paying homage to that.
Definitely a unique cover.
But looking at the cover now, dude, I didn't realize how young he was, you know? which is another interesting thing. When I heard some of the interviews, he was 16 at the time when he started recording.
So now you start doing shows around how old were you at this time again?
16.
16 years old. Damn.
I was the youngest in the game, period. Like, from San Diego to LA that was making the noise, I was the youngest one out of all of them.
I mean, think about that, dude. You know, can you think about when you were 16 and the sound of your voice on the microphone? Even now, you know, some people aren't very comfortable with the sound of their voices, but I remember how I sounded at 16, and it's like it didn't sound commanding over the recording. You know what I mean?
Strong presence.
Very
strong vocal presence, that's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, one of the things that I think is funny, and I heard it on another interview, was that Shadow, and not necessarily that he's irked by the fact that people always tell him and refer back to this as being like his greatest product out there.
It's funny that songs that most of artists hate, other people like.
Dog, like Till I Die. Oh, that's your best shit. Dog, have you heard my new shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
I think he probably underestimates it himself how much of an impact this means, you know, how much this means to the fans.
Right.
I don't remember the first time I heard the whole album because I downloaded this when you know, LimeWire was the shit. But I do have a lot of good memories of many of these songs, specifically with the beginning, right? I mean, what a way to kick off the fucking album. Tell me your thoughts on this song, Till I Die.
Oh man, okay. Let me take a shot of Don Julio 70 real quick. To just I got mic fright right now.
Órale, échale.
Because now we're about to really get it off. Ahí está. Ooh, smooth. Okay. Here are my thoughts. Okay, Till I Die. I bought the reprint with Beyond and East Side. I went to the Spring Valley Swap Meet. This was like in early '99. One of the swap meet went up to the Chicano, the booth. The first booth that I saw were selling CDs, and I asked which Shadow CD was a song that had him and Little Rob rapping to the Scary beat. That's exactly how I described it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, other than that, I opened it, saw the cover, white CD cover, black old English letters, saw him standing in front of Amici, and then I forgot where I played it at, but I know as soon as I played it, the first time, just being blown away by hearing the beat. That beat is still it's mesmerizing, man. That beat is one of the unique beats that, hands down, I could never mistake it.
Mm-hmm.
The song was on constant repeat for me after that, reciting every lyric that I could, especially mostly the chorus. I used to actually get headphones on my Skip and Walkman and used to try to put the homies up on game. So it was one thought about that song was it was cool that he mentions Chavez in a rap song. I was so used to hearing like black boxers being referenced in
Holyfield, the real deal,
yeah.
Holyfield, right?
Yeah.
Sugar Ray.
And then
yeah,
andale. Tyson, of course, Ali,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So to hear Chavez was different. And as Chavez's career, you know, goes on, you know, you find out that there was raps that he's an avid boxing fan, because it's cool, because I like boxing myself, but mostly now reflecting on it, because obviously when I was 14, I couldn't even fathom, you know, what the hell he was talking about. I just loved the song. So the song had a strong presence, no matter what your maturity level was, or brain capacity, whatever. It's just now that I hear it, and I'm just shocked even more as I got older, just how complex his lyrics was at the age of 16. You know, I'm just gonna say a couple of things that he was just rapping about. I mean, at 16, he's rapping about the Oklahoma City bombing, you know, his slow giving multiple sclerosis, stating he's the rapping Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
leaving no witnesses like Kato Kalin. You know, that's the guy who was in the O.J. Simpson
You
trial.
know, when you mentioned that earlier to me this year, I'm telling you, dog, I had never caught that. Like, I was fucking heard it, and I'm like, is he saying Kano, like that motherfucker from Mortal Kombat? You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, like I can see Fatal, Mortal Kombat. I'm like, that was the reference I was picking up, but it wasn't until you mentioned it to me earlier this year that it was like, shit, leave no witnesses like Kato, and then I was thinking about that show, O.J. Simpson versus the People, and I was like, okay, Kato, yeah, that's right. Like, it finally clicked for me, me cayó el 20 and shit.
Well, not only that, isn't it crazy how you even look at the song even deeper once you find out what the hell he was talking about?
Yeah.
When you understand when you're older. So. Other than that, he reps out one of the samples that he uses for the song. He reps out Atomic Dog. I believe right there. Of course, among other artists and other songs in San Diego rap, but this one right here just, of course, rose the bar even higher.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me,
there you go, rifa, homie.
Absolutely, dog. Like, this is one of those. Not only is it a San Diego anthem, but I think it's just a hood anthem in general. I mean, you go onto YouTube and you play the song and you read the comments, and it's like everybody's with it from Washington, from fucking Colorado, from other parts of the country, just really digging this, even though this is a very specific song. If you listen to the title or to the chorus, it's strictly representing San Diego, but motherfuckers all over the place were feeling it. So I always thought that was cool. But what I think is really cool about this is the story of how this song came to be. Because I feel like that's what's missing in Chicano rap is those stories of how things went down, how these songs were made, how they were recorded, what those studio sessions look like. So when I first caught a glimpse of the making of this or how this came to be was on YouTube many years ago, and Kool-Aid was interviewing Shadow, but this was like a 2-minute clip. I'm not sure what happened to the rest, but I guess they were down in Amici Park, and she was saying that she remembers when a young Shadow had brought this over to her, and that was all she mentioned, like 2 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, But lucky for us, Tony A was able to have a very prolonged interview with Shadow, where he went into great detail of how this came around. He said that they recorded this song, right? They hit up BMF.
I told Steve Vicious, I want the baddest makeover of More Bounce to the Ounce and Atomic Dog mixed together.
Okay.
So a week later, he shot me Till I Die, the beat, the instrumental, and I spit it, and I did it like nobody had ever done it before. So that song I recorded on a Sunday. Now, you go to a radio station, everything's closed. I didn't know that because I was fucking 15. I was about to be 16.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I like this song so much. Let's go to the radio station. My homeboy Hitman from my neighborhood, he said, fuck it, let's go. So we went on a Sunday around 3 or 4 in the afternoon to the radio station, Z90. Knocked on the door. Parking lot's empty. One DJ comes out. Oh, dog, I can't let you in because I'm going to get fired. Come back Monday through Friday during business hours. I was like, oh, come on, homie. Just let me show you this real quick.
Right.
Oh, no, I can't, bro. I'll get fired. Cool.
And whoever that DJ was that originally turned him down, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Because you almost made this shit never happen. If by chance or by the grace of God you get to hear this podcast, fuck you. Fuck you for almost turning this shit down and almost making it never happen, because this is one of the greatest pieces. This is a fucking a tribute to humanity, like how the like how the 7 wonders of the world are, like a testament to humanity. This is what this song was, But
on a positive note, thank you, Rhodium Radio.
Thank you, Rhodium Radio, for putting this out. But thank you to Hitman for taking Shadow, on a whim, on a Sunday afternoon, down to the fucking station and not giving up, backing up the little homie. And when Lisa Vasquez rolled up and Shadow and Hitman were in the parking lot, they didn't get any sort of hesitation to go and ask a second time. And that story is pretty interesting because Lisa gave him the time of day. and all he asked was 1 minute, just 1 minute to listen to this song. And in that fucking minute, dude, like just the beginning, the way that the beat drops and the way that Shadow introduces himself, right? Introduce and seducing your mind. Yeah, I mean, just it's such a great way to kick off the song. It's a great way to introduce the fucking album. I mean, the first song you hear is this banging ass beat. The beat itself, I'm a sucker for samples, especially if it's a more bounce to the ounce sample that can be flipped correctly. To me, it's almost unrecognizable. I didn't realize it until whosample.com listed it as a more bounce to the ounce sample, and that was like maybe 6 years ago that I found that out. I was like, holy shit.
Same with I'm on the same boat. I'm on the same boat with you, Carnal.
Yeah, like I could hear traces of Atomic Dog, but I couldn't make out that very clean sample of more bounce to the ounce. So, so props to VMF for being able to mask such a well-known song, especially in West Coast rap.
I just was so impressed by him just rapping like flawlessly fast without any messing up, mumbling, no accent, no running out of breath, just one smooth transition. He just amps it up in the first verse and twice in the last verse, and he just takes control on the beat and just goes back to rapping back to normal. The song will always be unique, especially for us. I will never skip this song. Many memories of my teenage years. Top 10 Chicano rap song of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
In Reality 5.
Absolutely.
In Reality 5.
Absolutely, Doug. I don't think there is anybody that listens to Chicano rap and doesn't have this song on their top 25. You know what I mean? Like top 25 most played or in their fucking library in general.
And if you don't have it, then give me your damn CD.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's even crazier, dude, is that there isn't a weak verse in that song. I mean, from beginning to end, there isn't a weak verse. My favorite is the third, obviously, because of what you said. The tongue twister was probably the cherry on top. I'll play a little clip for everybody to know what I'm talking about in the event that if you're Patrick Starr living under a fucking rock and unaware of this fucking song. That to me was just incredible. And it's interesting too, because as he mentioned in that Tony A interview, like he had to figure out how to distinguish himself from existing rappers, right? Because San Diego is the mecca of Chicano rap, and at that time, everybody that was coming out, right? Night Owl had his own style, Little One had his spooky rap style. His former group member GPA had his own style. The tribe.
Royal had that deep G Funk.
What I mean? Everybody had their own thing. So the fact that he was, especially at such a young age, to not want to be influenced by other people around him and want to distinguish himself, I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, just one thing that kind of just damn irrita. Just the fact that if a radio exec, radio DJ, radio program director, whatever you may call the position, if she recognized it was good and it got radio play and the album amassed, at least success on a regional or small nationwide level, I don't understand why now just a lot of people really discredit the album or discredit the song because he's a Chicano rapper, labeled as a Chicano rapper. That is always just made me mad, because people don't know how big the song was when it was on the radio.
What?
Just people aren't that aware of regional hits like that.
We have this platform to say fuck you to whoever turned that shit down. Fuck them. Fuck their homies.
I got your back, too, dope. I got your back.
Fuck whoever agreed that this wasn't deserving of a bigger platform,
Still waiting on that heifer, Julio. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
I don't like his voice.
I don't like his slingshot shirts. But what I thought was really funny too is how he said that he didn't really have a name, right? Like as an artist, and he introduced himself. He's like, I'm Shadow, that's my hood name. But can you imagine? Because I guess he said when Tony A asked him why Shadow, right? And he's like, well, I'm the darkest of the bunch, so it was always Shadow. But can you imagine if his name was Prieto? Like, can you imagine listening to a guy named Mr. Prieto? Like, it wouldn't have come off the same way. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been one of those things where I would have dismissed it. You know what I mean? Like, a guy, his name is Mr. Prieto. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have given it a second thought initially. But the fact that he's got not only a very interesting name, because you hear Shadow and you're not really thinking of an ethnic name. You know what I mean? Or an ethnic identity. I always thought that was really cool. I like that. You know what I mean? Just very not that it's very misleading, but it doesn't distract you from the fact that he's a very good MC. You know what I mean? Like, the name isn't distracting. It's not like his name was, I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's not like his name was like Mexican Boy, or you know what I mean, or you know what I mean, like shit like that would have like easily boxed him into something else, And so, to whoever named him Shadow, whatever Waptown member decided, hey, your name is Shadow, kudos to him, because that was probably planting the seeds for something greater. One of the things that really stood out to me, though. And I'm not sure if you've ever considered this, but there's no curse words in this song.
Boom. Damn. Now that I think about it, that's something that I remembered and I forget.
Yeah.
And now, so
wow. So I curse a lot. It's just part of me. I have a pretty big vocabulary sometimes, and then other times you're gonna hear me just massacre my my sentences with curse words. But I always appreciated that this song had no curse words. I mean, if you consider the word hoe a curse word, I guess it's one curse word. But other than that, like, the song is devoid of the word fuck, of the word ass, of the word bitch. You know what I mean? Like, all the other epithets that you can think of, it's a clean song, and it makes me wonder, like, okay, maybe this is why the radio was so, why Lisa Vasquez from Z90 was so open to playing the song, is because she didn't have to really do anything to the song to edit it and say, okay, now it's ready for the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Just to make such a strong lyrical song like that, a strong present song without any cuss words. I know many people, this is what, from the other realm, whoever's listening may not agree, but this is stuff that Rakim was doing. Rakim released, I believe, all of his music without any cussing.
Same thing.
For Shadow to believe a song like this strong, this big, this famous in our genre speaks volumes.
Exactly, dog. Because you know how it is. You're 16 and you just want to impress your homies and have a very dirty vocabulary. And the fact that he was able to write down a song and not include any curse words, because this, what he said originally was like, hey, if this song gets to make it on radio, cool. If it doesn't, it's just a song I did for the hood.
I told myself that, and I told my boy too, look, dog, they say no, that's it. We'll keep it as a fucking song that I did. But if something good happens,
right,
we're running with it.
I always thought that was impressive, that, with his lyrical prowess, he was able to avoid heading into that direction of having his song filled with obscenities and curse words,
Likewise. All right, here we go.
Let me ask you something else, though. You heard the remix, right?
Oh, the remix. Let me rewind a bit. All right, the remix. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have heard the remix. I heard it on you heard it on a different album that I did.
God, man, this song, the version, the remix is available on so many different compilations, because at the time, I guess there was a fallout between Hitman and Shadow. You can hear more about that dispute, that fallout, and what it had to do with.
He kept doing that and remixing songs, because he would have copies of the songs. He would remix the songs, and he would fucking re-release some under different titles and stupid shit, dog. Just trying to make money off of old music, dog. And finally I put a stop to it, and that's it. That's the last of it.
Obviously the root of all evil is money. and that happened to be the fallout between Hitman and Shadow. But yeah, this is during that time where Hitman was putting out a bunch of different compilations, and obviously it was probably to cash in on Shadow's name, Shadow's talent, and Shadow's popularity. But yeah, you heard it on Out the Bird's Nest. I've heard it on that. I've heard it on I think it's on Night Owl's 13 chapter 13, I think. I have it on the Best of Beyond Entertainment. Sorry, the Best of Beyond Entertainment, or Hitman Presents the Best of Beyond. And then, geez, I don't know how many other compilations it's on, but the beat itself.
Don't worry, guys, you'll find it.
Yeah, you can Google it. You can go on YouTube and find it. I like it. There was a time in my life where I had like 40 gigs on a freaking computer, and I had to get rid of some files. And I kid you not, I came down to like deleting duplicate songs that I had. And sometimes I was like, okay, is the remix better than the original? Should I keep both or whatever? And I was like split. I was like, I don't know which one's better, the remix or the original. What do you think is better?
Oh man, I can listen to the remix, but I'm just sticking with the original.
Yeah, I happen to like the remix a lot. To me, it's split. Some days I prefer the original a lot more than the remix, and other times I'm like, damn, the fucking remix slaps. You know what I mean?
Just when you thought it was over.
The beat's not bad. I just between the word. I'm not saying it's not mixed bad. Shit, I'm not an engineer. I'm not a producer. I'm not a beat maker. But I sense a little bit of separation between the beat and Shadow's voice.
Really?
So just the twice,
just slightly.
Just because I'm so used to picturing Till I Die, the original beat, man. I just hear in the cadence of voice. I just hear it,
I think it's one of those songs that was posthumously. No, I'm sorry, not posthumously done. That was done after the fact and didn't have any input from the artist that actually came out very good. You know what I mean? Like for Shadow not being in there and re-recording any parts of the song, I think it came out really well. I think it flows on pace. Because then there's remixes of Shadow songs that I'm just like, oh my god, what the fuck were they thinking? You know, just leave the original. But I don't know, man. To me, it's up in the air. I love both of them. I don't really have a favorite. I'm just gonna, you say you like the original. I say I'm 50-50 with the remix and the original. This was the recycled version of another track that BMF had done for another local rapper named LAZ. The song is called
Thanks for the Clecha.
Yeah,
Thanks for the Clecha.
Yeah, that song.
Always heard of him, but never knew he rapped to that beat.
Yeah, he rapped to a similar beat. It's called Mucking with a G, and you can hear it has more of a Atomic Dog presence on the beat, but it has the same synthesizer that goes you know what I mean? Like the little synthesizer or whatever it is. The one thing that I found interesting is that this beat was kind of reused for that. What's even more interesting is I just showed you a couple of days ago that some norteños were, you could tell that they were peeping the scene of what was happening in Southern California, right? Because, not to throw shade at them, but they've always kind of been in the shadow of the Chicano rap world, and kind of just following in line, but trying to carve out their own path as well. But I know there's a group out there called PBC. Not sure what PBC stands for, but they have a song called For Life, and they basically looped a part of the song, and they try to get down to it. It doesn't feel the same.
It just can't be done.
Once you hear this original song, you're just gonna be like, okay, anything else that tries to be imitated just can't be duplicated.
Back once again on another funky track. PBC me and my gente. Simone, we got each other back. Never giving a fuck, never giving a reason why.
So would you say that Till I Die has a G Funk Junkie stamp of approval to close it out?
Oh, absolutely. All right. Well, we spent enough time on just that one song. What do you think of the next one? track number 2, What Goes Around Comes Around.
What goes around comes around. One thing I think I'm gonna say off the bat is that Little One teased us. He should have been on the song.
Oh, dude, yes. I don't.
That's Little One's alley. Now that's his alley.
Yeah.
You know, but the beat it's solid, but it does sound like it's in a scary. It does sound like it's in a scary movie. And not to take nothing from Apocalypse, because that hits me different. I mean, the chorus fits the beat good. This song is the strong reminder of a short-lived shadow that I only see in this album, which it portrays him like as a dark lyricist and slow, and even though he does some tongue twisters, but I like the shadow that goes after that, like in his albums from here on out. It's like more of a fast-paced, psycho, demented kind of evil, which I feel is better than this kind of evil, like a torturing, slow kind of evil. I say that the song ends great in the last verse. It's the best verse in the song. Great ending. I think he says,
6 letters in my name, 6 thoughts up in my brain, 6 shots from my slug.
Got you waking up in a frame, a memory of you because it's all because of me. Till you pay your sins is the day I set you free. So, but as I listen to it now, I don't skip it, but I do wish it was lower on the track list because the album has to have a variety, but you know, it goes from Till I Die to Can't Be a Player If You Want to Be a Hater. I feel it kind of disrupts the rhythm.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know what? It's funny you mentioned that part of the verse because that's my favorite verse in this song. And going back to what you were saying, right? He's actually going back to that dark theme that you were painting at 666, right? 6 letters in my name, 6 thoughts in my brain, 6 shots from my slug, 666. Like that's really clever wordplay for such a young MC. You know what I'm saying? Which just adds to, you know, the lyrical prowess. I mean, my thoughts on the beat, I think it's very forgettable. It's not my favorite beat. Then again, I'm not a fan of that guitar strumming. You know how, and you see that theme pretty often in this album where there's like guitar strumming, and I don't like it. I don't really like that type of guitar sound in a rap song, and I'll explain later in another song when I bring it up, but it wasn't for me.
All right.
It sounded more like it was filler. But the chorus, you know, I actually think it's good. You know, I think he doubles up his vocals, if I'm not mistaken.
What goes around comes around. The tables turn.
So, you know, it makes for a good sound effect. I'm just not thrilled by the song as a whole. You know, the first time I heard it, now that I listened to it thoroughly, I can bear it somewhat, but it's still one of those things that I'm probably gonna skip.
This is after listening to so much Shadow later on, more G Funk, more bass. This is not something that I bump in the car. I'll tell you that. Not that there's nothing wrong with the song. It's just
you know, not for me.
We've heard other Shadow material.
Yep.
Yeah, we've heard other Shadow material that goes inside the whip.
Now,
inside the whip, inside the ramp.
Now that you mentioned putting this shit up in your fucking car, what do you make of Can't Be a Player If You're a Hater?
Oh man. Wow, it's one of my favorite songs in the album. I love the beat. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna cover the sample on it. The album, I envision having 3 videos. This song would be one of them. Ooh. This song just brings good vibes. Like I said, this song along with Go Ahead was one of my getting ready songs. This is around the time I started drinking, going to kickbacks, house parties. You know, I like from all the other rap songs, the reversing of the chorus is definitely different. You know, the can't be a player if you want to be a hater. Can't be a hater if you want to be a player. That's definitely different. But I'm gonna say, this is just something that I really want to say, and I hope people actually get to hear this part. So I truly believe that this song inspired the chorus for Dancing, Smoking, Drinking, the song he has with Don Cisco and Corrupt.
Interesting.
And the reason is because, let me find it in my notes here. He says in Can't Be a Player, he says, I'm already seeing doubles.
What
so
I'm
doubles
drinking.
what I'm drinking.
Is how I'm
Slowly
blinking.
is how I'm thinking. Blitz is how
Yeah.
I'm feeling.
Already seeing doubles, so doubles what I'm drinking. Slowly is how I'm thinking, and blitz is how I'm feeling.
So then compared to dancing, smoking, drink, compared to dancing, smoking, drinking, he goes, dancing, smoking, drinking, slowly, blinking. And I also feel that I feel that Little Rock was supposed to be on the song.
He does mention the Mayhem Click, so
Yeah, Andale, there
Yeah.
you go. And there you go. You just laid it out because he says, and I forget with this pain I inflict, I be sick. The Mayhem Click coming through where ain't no stopping us. Us, keyword us.
And I forget that with the spit that I inflict, I be sick. The Mayhem Click is coming through and they don't stopping us.
Like I said, I still bump the hell out of this song whenever I come across it. No skip for me, man. What about your opinion, man?
so
I would love to hear
the
your
first
opinion.
time I heard this song, I didn't click with it. I thought it was a clown song. It's a lighthearted beat, definitely. You know, the first time I heard it compared to
But why did you think? But why did you think it was a clown song? That's important.
the beginning, the first 17 seconds of the song are what bugged me. And you know what I mean? Like when I was younger, I'd listen to like maybe I had a short attention span, right? So 15, 20 seconds of a song.
I still do.
You know, and it was like, okay, and he's talking and he sounds like he's speaking in a distorted sound. And that always bugged the fuck out of me. And I was like, okay. And there was a sound effect in the beginning too that I wasn't with it. I was like, all right, fuck this song. You know, I'm not going to hear it. I downloaded it, but I never deleted it for some odd reason. Go figure.
Once again, in your area.
One day, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I think I was cleaning my room or drawing or tagging something. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But this album was playing, right? Like I was playing some Shadow songs and this song played in its entirety. And it's just one of those things where you realize like, fuck, man, have I been skipping this song and it was fire all along? You know what I mean? And now that I go back on it, like I fucking love it, dude. It's just one of my favorite songs on the album. It's definitely outstanding. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a lighthearted beat compared to the other songs in this album. And overall, in general, you know, I will touch on this a lot later, but it's one of those things that I feel that Till I Die is a lot more lighthearted than Born Without a Conscience. And there's a lot of what I would call candy ass beats, you know? And specifically on this song, there's like a little sound of a twinkle or like a sparkling sound. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah, so that part always bugged me and I always thought that it was lighthearted. But now that I go back and I appreciate yes, that part. You know what I mean? I was like, this is weird, you know what I mean, for a gangster rap song. But now that I go back and I listen to it, I'm like, okay, this was meant as a fucking pop song. You know what I mean? Not in a bad sense, but it was a party song. It was supposed to be like this is definitely a radio song. You know what I mean? And if people are not aware of it, this is a sample of two songs. Number one, it's a sample of the SOS band, There Is No Limit. So the one that goes, wah, 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 wah. You know that part? That's a part of the sample from the SOS band. And there's a part I can't do an onomatopoeia of the rhythm or the sound effect of the song, but it's a sample from Cameo, Back and Forth. And I think it's great. You know, the mixing was very instrumental. The layering, it's very intricate. Like if you listen to the beat by itself, there's like maybe six or seven different layers to the song, and it just goes to show what a mastermind fucking VMF is. You know what I mean? As far as the verses go, dude, I don't think there is a bad verse. Every verse is dope, but the second one is the one I find most memorable. It begins strong. It has that tongue twister, and overall, I mean, it's just a fucking party anthem. Obviously, VMF produced the song, but there's two songs out there that I want to mention. Number one is another VMF track from earlier in the decade. So in 1994, VMF did a song with MC Hammer, and I actually really like it. I think it's really dope. It's called Sultry Funk.
Yeah, man.
And in that song,
I was blown away when I heard that. When I saw that video, I was like, "What? Legend status, man."
It's just one of those songs that, like, I think should have had a lot more praise, but I'm actually very happy that VMF song had a music video along with it, you know? Especially the way that VMF kicks it off, right? Introduce, they go town, represent. I was like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I mean? That's my shit. But that beat, it had a lot of the same elements as this song with Shadow, you know? So if anybody has a chance to go check it out, I strongly recommend looking out that VMS song with MC Hammer. It's called Sultry Funk. But I also wanted to mention that there's a remix to this song. I particularly don't like the remix as much as I like the original. But, you know, I if you're a sucker for samples like I am, you know, it's kind of worth listening. The remix samples Mr. Groove by One Way. You can't be a player if you wanna be a hater. You can't be a hater if you wanna be a player. And you can definitely tell that it has elements of VMF's production. If you've heard the song About to Go Down by G-Lo and Little Rob, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's got those one. Yeah, exactly. Like it's got that elements of that same song. So I could tell that VMF really had a hand in that production. But again, you know, it's just Hitman making money, and you know, it is what it is. Shadow didn't have any input on that. That was all Manny Hitman Lopez, you know, just making some money after that fallout. Moving on.
Just one more thing, just thought it was funny. It goes later on in the song, it goes, drunk like a bum, Mayhem clicks who we are. So
no, he says drunk like a bar, and Mayhem click is who we are.
Oh, drunk like a bar, not drunk like a bum.
Just those misheard lyrics, man.
Drunk like a bar, Mayhem clicks who we are. It's a night to remember.
Sure, how many times have we had that happen to us already? So like I said, I still bumped the song the hell out of it, man. G Funk Junkie approval stamp it on it. I will never skip it, man. I'm ready to move on. Right. Ready to move on.
All right, on to track number 4, Apocalypse, featuring Little Rob.
Man, what can I say? How many songs are straight made out of like famous movies? You know, I mean, I remember Duke of Earl gets used a lot, but this one right here is I hold this song very close to my heart, man. I do, and even though it doesn't bring those kinds of vibes, this song definitely opened up my ear canals and officially let Chicano rap into my life.
This is what prompted you to buy the album, right?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't the first Chicano rap song I've heard, but it's the first song that made me an official Chicano rap fan, and it made me want to discover more. It was my first time hearing Shadow rap. Now, I have heard of him before, just through name, but at the time, I was 13. I was not convinced of the different style of rap songs that were out, like, because I remember at the time, now these songs are genius, but at the time, I wasn't digging the Little One, Night Out, Little Rob rapping to the oldie beats. That was definitely too different for me. I wasn't too much of an experienced rap listener. But on top of that, of course, it didn't take long for me to take appreciation for some of those songs. But I stereotyped Shadow myself, so I didn't hear what he sounded like. Mm-hmm. But I recall the first time I heard Apocalypse and Shadow. I was at my homie's house that lived right next to Keeler Park. We were just chilling, and he just put music on, and didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what was coming. I heard like the demon voice.
Hello, my children.
You know, I heard the Michael Myers beat, which at the time I was like, okay, I heard it, don't know from where. And then boom, Shadow just starts fucking flipping.
If your ass wants to live another day, get the fuck out of the way when I lyrically slay. Bringing all of my bones, Mr. Shadow be the one that's killing motherfuckers, putting tech on toes, shove them on in holes.
Words just fucking blew me off. He got off right away, instantly. That same weekend, went to the Spring Valley Swap Meet and bought the Till I Die album. Didn't know the name of the album, so like I stated earlier, asked the Chicano in the booth, I said, hey, do you got that Shadow CD where he raps fast to the scary beat? My exact words. So the title for the song, I feel is great. The beat goes perfectly in sync. However, this is what maybe a lot of people may not agree with, but I feel the best Little Rob is the Little Rob under the direction of BMF and Shadow. I hate to say that. That's even though there's other versions of Little Rob that I've liked, there's other versions of Little Rob's face that I don't like, but I feel that Little Rob was on his toes when he was with Shadow. And I know it was at a young phase of his career, but I felt it was some of the better Little Rob, man.
Yeah.
I feel that
Okay.
having no chorus, like I'm guessing like they do some of that demonic stuff, like reversing the words.
Yeah.
But I feel like having no chorus is fine. Little Rob surprised me in this song because, like I said, he's it's like, how can I say, he went along, he stepped in Shadow's territory in his style, and he managed to do okay. But I wish how Little Rob rapped in Till I Die, I wish he would revisit that or just tease us with that a bit, because he definitely never revisited. So that's just my thoughts.
You mean the way he did it on Mayhem Click?
Exactly.
So let me bring everybody up on game, because you may be aware of it or you may not, or the listeners may or may not. But the beat, I think it's very instantly catchy and recognizable. Obviously, it samples the theme song for that movie Halloween, which I think is probably the most recognizable aspect of that song. But I can't fucking name the song that goes where the theme song goes. Yeah, that shit. It samples that part. So if you're listening, you can't really hear it when they're rapping, but at the last maybe 30 or 40 seconds, you can hear it clearly because there's no vocals on it. But also, and taking this a little further back, to all those people that are movie fanatics, movie buffs, and are, very detailed in, compositions of songs and stuff, I'm pretty sure that people heard Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho screech.
Okay.
Not sure if you caught that, but that's from...
I did not catch that part, but I know what you're talking about.
That's from a movie called Psycho from, I think it's the 60s or the 70s, and it's a shower scene where some chick gets fucking slashed in the shower while she's naked. Not sure if you're aware of it.
Not aware of that part. I
man.
remember just the sound effect. That's the famous famous little sound effect. Yeah, they use it in a lot of pop culture movies.
Yeah,
memes, whatever. They use that a lot.
It's a pop culture icon now. It actually got sampled in a Little One song with G-Lo. The song's called Ghetto Bird.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can hear it there too. But I think what I really like most of the song is the first verse, where Shadow just writes the instrumental with like skillful cadence. So from, I think it's that 52 seconds all the way up to 59, he's showing a lot of versatility in his tongue twisters, because he's rapping with different styles of tongue twisting.
It's the evilness, lyricist, bringing this wickedness and message. I am my premises, witness and fall like the exorcist, cause I'm coming to get them like every day. You run and you hide, but you won't get away.
Even though the whole song is
time.
Even though it's a whole fucking tongue twister throughout the verse, there's different styles of flipping it in that tongue twister that I really liked, and I thought it showed a lot of his lyrical prowess again. You know what I mean? As far as the chorus, dude, I thought it was you know what I mean? Like the whole speaking in tongues, or, demons speaking backwards and shit. Like,
I say no chorus.
Yeah, I mean,
say no chorus.
Yeah, there is no chorus, right? Because it's just them saying gibberish. Here's another thing too that you may not have caught.
I might have not.
Because I didn't realize it until I listened to it like 10 times, in the last week. On the third verse where Little Rob starts rapping, I think it's the beginning of his verse. He goes, "It's a satanical, magical Little Rob in the shadow. We coming at you like horns. My mother regrets I was born. I know, like you like it like porn," and blah 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 blah.
It's the satanical, magical Little Rob in the shadow. We're coming at you like horns. My mother regrets I was born, and I know you like it like porn. Treat the streets like horse.
So he goes on for a while, and not sure if you know, but that part of that verse got recycled in another Little Rob song called "The Wicked, Wicked, Wicked," or "The Wiki, Wiki, Wiki," whatever.
Oh yeah, and it goes. Dun, 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 dun. That's when like the beat kind of changes on the Wicked, Wicked, right? Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and he that's like that song in Wicked, Wicked. That verse sticks out the most, right?
Yep.
Because it breaks down differently. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So the only thing that's different is that in the beginning, he replaces Shadow's name with
He doesn't
Battle.
say Shadow. Oh,
He doesn't say Shadow because in this one, the Apocalypse, right? It says it's a satanical, magical Little Rob in the shadow. We coming at you like horns. You know, in the Wicked, Wicked song, he goes, "It's the satanical, magical Little Rob in the battle." And I thought that was pretty interesting. Like he found a word that's 2 syllables that sounds a lot like shadow, battle, shadow. Like if you say it fast enough, there's almost no difference, right? There's no way to distinguish it. And in all my years of hearing those fucking songs, again, 16 years of hearing these songs, I just caught it until this fucking year, 2020. You know what I mean? I first heard it in 2004.
I think I just caught it now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So this is why we're doing this fucking podcast, because I want people to understand how we hear music and things that we may have missed, you know? The first time around that we may have heard it. So, you know, those are my favorite things to point out. If I could change one thing in this song, I think the title should have been renamed as like Rap Devils. You know what I mean? Just because I don't know, I feel like it would go better with the song, especially because both Little Rob and Shadow say like that they hear voices right in their head. I think Little Rob says, every night I hear voices in my head and I do what is said, or something like that. And Shadow mentioned something about hearing voices in his head too. And I'm like, okay, like this would amplify the song itself if the name was called like Rap Devils or something. But that's just my 2 cents.
I don't think I had to say much on Shadow because what can I say about Shadow? He just fucking straight killed it in that song. That's all I have to say about that. So that's why I focus more on reviewing on Little Rob, because Shadow just flat out just fucking killed it. Like I said, that's what me saying that's a song that got me into Chicano rap officially, made me want to discover more. I think that is enough being said by me. I hold that song very highly.
I think the next track is probably one of the most standout tracks.
Yes.
You wanna take away, lead with this one?
Okay, hold on. Let me take a nice little swig of my Pacifico right now.
Échale. Gonna take a little swig of my Coke and Jack.
There you go. All right, handle. Fuck Modelo. It's all about Pacifico. All right.
Oh man, you're hurting my feelings, dog.
Oh, it's my bad, homie. My bad. I take that back.
Hey, but you know what?
Right.
Pacifico's a straight Baja thing, so I respect that. Being from Baja myself, you know that's the shit.
Right, homie. Right on. Okay. 619-909. I think there's gonna be no disagreement here between us. What can I say other than that Chicano and area code pride right here?
Mm-hmm.
Beat just makes you feel like some good shit is coming up right off the bat. I love the interaction, like rebounding off themselves in shorter verses before the actual chorus comes in.
Yeah.
Real good chemistry, man,
Mm-hmm.
between the 2 MCs. Much props to ODM. He fucking brought it in this song. Not taking away nothing from Shadow, but he's the one that brought it, man.
Yep.
ODM straight solidifies and makes himself aware that, man, he's the veteran in this fucking game, you know. My shit is straight legit 7 years, and it don't stop till my album drop. I'm the fool that brought Mexicans to hip hop. I brought the pride of the brown and introduced a new sound. Down for the underground.
Yep. Man,
what
that was definitely the more standout part of the song.
And then by this time, I just realized that Shadow loves Dom Perignon. So I love the chorus, man. What I later on envisioned of the chorus, that it's just Shadow and ODM just fucking rocking the mic, performing on stage, and that the crowd's reciting the fucking chorus right back to them, man. That's how strong I feel about this song, man. I still look at this song real high, man. And like I said, I say it's unique to San Diego and in the Inland Empire.
I think as soon as the beat drops and you start hearing that thick bass line, that thumping fucking background noise, and then the synthesizer, I can't think of anybody that doesn't click with the song right away. You know what I mean? What I find more interesting is, the making of the song, right? So earlier we mentioned that Shadow was touring with Lighter Shade of Brown and with Little Rob and other people off of his one song. Well, I guess the story goes in that I think this was with Tony A. He mentioned that as he was recording his first album, he was on tour with Lighter Shade of Brown, and this song was recorded on a hotel, right? So in a hotel room, they were waiting to go to their next car show to perform. ODM just happened to be walking by, just pure happenstance, right? He was walking by, heard the beat, asked Shadow if he could get on that bitch, and wrote the hook right then and there. They got back to the studio where VMF recorded everything. And, the crazier part is that, Shadow says, like, I grew up listening to these guys. To be making a song with them, like, basically the ultimate fanboy thing, right? Like, you get to meet your idols, you get to make music with them, and, you make a classic. So...
Well, not only that, like accomplishing something that you want to do that young.
So, my only question is, like, what would this song have sounded like had ODM not been on it? Had he not walked by that moment? Let's say the elevator was late or somebody else got on the elevator and, they ended up going to a different floor and he didn't get a chance to hear the song. You know what I mean? Like,
what did Tony A say that you agree with?
Timing is everything.
There you go.
But, going back to that beat, I mean, to me, the instrumental is engaging from the very moment it starts. The synthesizers synchronized with the claps, I think it adds a touch of finesse. And then that sound effect, not sure if you caught on, but that's a more bounce to the ounce sound effect. The one that goes through. You know what I mean? Man, like I'm I have a very keen ear for samples, so whenever I hear more bounce to the ounce, I can spot that bitch. You know what I mean? But I agree with you, man. Verse number 5 by ODM is my favorite. I think he tears it up like he's never done. Because up to that point, I don't think he ever rapped that aggressively on a Lighter Shade of Brown track, And this one, I mean, not saying that he's gang related or anything like that, but I think he stepped up his image. How like Lighter Shade of Brown has a very clean image. I think on this one it was more of that, like, I grew up in the hood. This is how shit gets down. Yeah, exactly.
Strong veteran presence.
He really did rip it up, dude. In that interview with Tony A, ODM says that had it not been for Frost, dropping La Raza, he would have been the first solo Mexican artist, you know what I mean? Or solo Chicano artist. And he says that his manager said, time to go back to the drawing board. There's already a solo Chicano artist. And that's how he ended up. And again, you know what I mean? Pure happenstance. He's like, hey, I got this other dude.
So that's why they had the idea now form a group, right? So
yeah, and it's pure happenstance, dude. Like, it just, it's Chicano rap is just these little.
And not to take away nothing from Shadow's album review now, but how genius is the name?
I think it is.
Genius name.
Like even the initials, right? LSOB, like it just kind of rolls off the tongue, But yeah, rather than going with like a stereotypical name like Brown Pride, it's like, okay, let's tweak the name and make it sound a little less obvious, So, definitely has my seal of approval.
Chicano certified.
Yeah, it's just pure happenstance, and I'm glad that the rap gods that be let this song flourish.
So now, what I'm gonna go ahead and move on with the next track, but I would like to ask you, man. I would like your first take on Me and My Shadow, track number 6.
You know what? Before we go on to track number 6, there's a remix called 61909 remix, right? Obviously, it's unrelated. It's not a part 2 of the song because number 1, it has a different beat. It's a little hard to get into, but you can get used to it. And it does not include ODM on it. However, it does feature Seldom Seen. And yeah, I actually like it though. It kind of grew on me. So
really, I can't believe I've never heard of it. I type in 61909 on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know what prompted me to look it up, but it's on one of those compilations that like there's a limited print, and so if you don't fucking know it, then you probably would never hear it, you know? So it's out there for anybody that wants to listen to it, peep it, check it out, and, you know, let us know what you think. I personally prefer this one.
Just one more thing, man. I have a homie who he not a big listener to Chicano rap, but he did listen to Till I Die, and he did like Till I Die. And he used to drive a white Acura Integra, and he told me it was on the 54 freeway, and he told me he saw Shadow driving. And he saw Shadow driving. He said, you know, obviously his system wasn't the best, but he said he was trying to get Shadow's attention, and he rolls down the window, and he's bumping 619909. And
he probably was trying to bang on him and shit.
Fuck, just like looking at the road. Yeah, like, but he's trying to get attention, and he's pointing at the deck of the CD player. And, you know, come on, you got winds at 70 miles per hour.
Speakers, you know, probably all around.
Like, you know, yeah. So all right, I mean, just I
that's
just
funny.
Thought about that right now, man. But, all right, let's. I'm ready to. I really want to hear your opinion on Me and My Shadow, track number 6.
And like that, we conclude part 1 of the G Funk Junkies podcast. Stay tuned for the remainder of the episode. On part 2, we will cover tracks 6 through 16 and give our concluding opinions on the overall album. All right, gente?
Just chill till the next episode.